thing that really sucks about the whole situation is that this was not like my decision. This wasn't my decision to find out this way. I think that a lot of this stuff could have been avoided. Hold on, Estes is awake. There is something really weird that happened to me after I found all this out. This is like gonna be the hardest video I've ever made, but I feel like if I keep avoiding making it, then I'm just gonna be lying to myself and be lying to everyone else about stuff. And I shouldn't be scared to share something that is probably one of the most important things about someone, is who they are, where they come from. That makes them who they are, like as a person. And I feel like I have Estes just farted. Making this a lighthearted thing and very serious moment, but yeah.
Did you toot on me?
I had different plans on how I was gonna video this and tell the story, but I've just like had this like weird feeling all morning, and I knew that right now in this moment is whenever I'm supposed to be filming this, so I'm gonna film it, and that's that. I don't even care what I look like. I know that I wearing a hat and a huge oversized sweatshirt, but this is just how it's gonna be. I can't even put this into words. It's almost just unbelievable. I know that this is really important to me to be honest about this, because it has been suppressed and lied about my entire life. So there's no reason to continue lying about it whenever this is not just my life, but now my children's lives and my husband's life that it affects, because we are a family and that's just how it works.
Right.
Okay, so rewind. I took a DNA test in May. I actually ordered the test in February of this year. I ordered 2 tests, one for me, one for my husband. Like, this isn't a very good background for this. Okay, there. So I ordered us both a test because they were having a sale. I've always been interested in that kind of stuff. I don't know why. And 23andme was having a special for, I think it was Valentine's Day. They were having a Valentine's Day special basically for their health and ancestry kit. It was like way discounted or whatever. And I have not necessarily been as interested in the ancestry side of things as I am the health side of things. I've always just been really into like fitness and health, eating healthy, yada yada, all that stuff. So after having Brock, and then Estes was on the way at the time whenever I did end up ordering the kit, I just saw that there were a lot of tests on there that were run through your DNA sample that could tell you, you know, certain variants if they detected as far as health goes, like for breast cancer, for Alzheimer's, all that kind of stuff. Like, who wouldn't want to know about that? Like, who wouldn't want to know, like, hey, if I have this, I could potentially like pass it down to my children. So we ordered the test. That was February, so we probably got them like the end of February. They literally sat on our counter for months because there was just so much going on. It's like there's no reason for us to just like have it sitting on the counter for so long, but we just like had a lot going on. I was in the 3rd trimester. We were getting things ready for baby number 2, and so yeah, that's all I can say about that. It's like the results are going to be the same whether we take it today or tomorrow. So the day came in May. I think my grandma had come to stay with us, and I had mentioned, you know, oh, Steven, we need to, you know, take that test. It's just been sitting there, because I think she had asked me, like, what is this? Because they were just like sitting on the counter, and I was like, oh, it's this DNA test through 23andme. They have health and ancestry stuff or whatever. And so it was kind of on my mind again at that point, even though it was like literally sitting in plain sight that whole time. I don't know, for some reason it was like not on my mind, but since she asked about it, then I was thinking about it more. So we took the test, and it said likely to get your results in 6 to 8 weeks. So 2.5 weeks goes by. We were at the Gaylord Texan Resort in Fort Worth, just kind of getting away because Brock had been sick, so we were kind of cooped up in the house for a long time. We had a newborn and all that, so it was like we were just like having cabin fever and just needed to get away for the weekend. So we went to this resort, and we were having a good time. It was our first night there, I think. Yeah, it was a Saturday night at 1 a.m. whenever I got the results. I was sleeping, but it does this thing where it like sends you an email whenever you get your results or whatever, and you can like go look at your results online. And so I got the results at 1 a.m. The next morning I wake up at like probably 7. I usually don't check my email like in the mornings. I usually don't like start doing that until after I've already checked like the usual stuff, like, you know, text messages, Instagram, Facebook, just the normal social media outlets that I would check. But for some weird reason, I like checked my email that morning, and I saw that 23andme had sent me my results. And so I'm like super pumped. We're just hanging out in the hotel room, about to get ready to go down to breakfast. So I'm like, oh cool. So I'm like going and looking at the health side of things. That was the first thing I went to. I just went to the health stuff, and I was like checking it all out, and it was all saying, you know, variant not detected, variant not detected. And I'm gonna do a video on my actual results soon and share all that information with y'all. But so I was like checking that, and I was texting with Steven's sister, Erin. Hey, you trying to talk over me? I was texting with her because she had taken a test, and that was how all this started. She like said, oh, Steven, you should take it to see what, you know, yours says compared to what mine says, you know, since they're siblings, obviously. And so that was back in December. But anyways, that's besides the point. I was texting her, and I was saying, hey, like, I got my results back, yada yada, and she was like, oh my gosh, like, let's share results and whatever. And I was like, yeah. And then I had remembered that she said something about the ancestry stuff, and that she had found someone on there that was like her cousin or their cousin or whatever, and so they were able to like share reports and all that. So I asked her, I was like, I texted her, and I was like, hey, how do you know, see if any of your cousins have taken the test, you know? I kind of want to do that. And she hadn't texted back yet, but I figured it out. Like a few minutes after I'd sent that text, I was like on the website, I was looking at all the stuff, and I actually figured out how to do it. And I clicked on there. My heart's like racing right now just thinking back on it, but I click on there, and it says, you know, I click on there, and it says you have a match, half brother. And I just remember thinking, like, what the heck? What is, like, Steven had gone to the bathroom right, like, literally 30 seconds before I read that. And he came out and I was like in shock. And I said, this thing, I'm shaking right now. This thing says that I have a half brother. And he just looks at me and he's like, no, like that can't be right. Like, and I'm like showing him and I'm like, no, look, this says I have a half brother. And he's just like, that cannot be right. Like, there's no way. And it, I don't know. We were just like in disbelief. And so my first thought was, okay, I'm gonna call my grandma. And I call her and I'm like, I just got my DNA results back and it says that I have a half brother. She's like, no, that's not right. Like, that can't be right. You know, all this stuff. So I'm like, okay. And she had to go. So we got off the phone. Looking back on that now, it's like, yeah, that was kind of weird. I should have just like seen that as a red flag, but I didn't. I was just kind of like, yeah, maybe this isn't right. Maybe something messed up. Well, we're walking down to breakfast and I'm just like looking at this name that I don't know. And it's saying that we share 27% DNA. He's my half brother. And I'm just like, we're walking down and like, honestly, we're not really saying much. And for some weird reason, I just feel like a sense of relief. Because I'm like, I almost believe it, you know?